That sounds like made up horseshit. Like, there's no way.
That is. I know a little bit about Korean, but
okay.
yeah.
That sounds like there's no way there's not a way to say it, dude. There's always a way to say shit, right? Like, I mean, that didn't make any sense to me. I was like, it can't be fucking true.
Yeah.
Okay. Glad to know that my instinct was correct on that. I was like, sounds like you're just trying to sell me something here. I don't think that's true.
You know what's funny is, like, I've studied language my whole adult life, and there's just so much language bullshit. Oh, I think I might be able to fuck this person up after all, because I'm gaining the ability to embark across the sea pretty soon.
I was about to ask about that,
yeah, too. I'm just going to move, like, a massive army here north, and then attack south. So, yeah, they're fucked. Once I get... And they can't even attack me even as I move into there.
So once you set sail to another continent, are there going to be like semi-developed civilizations on that continent waiting for you and shit?
Probably, because they haven't been wasting all their time and resources trying to kill Russians on this fucking peninsula.
Yeah, instead they've been sitting around trying to log into Tamriel.
Yeah.
So they've done nothing, literally. Oh, shit. Oh, I don't know if that was your joke or just a joke in general, but Tamriel unfinished.
Oh yeah, I just came up that spur of the moment. I said,
yeah, it was pretty brilliant. That made us laugh quite a bit.
Elder Scrolls Online Tamriel unfinished.
Unfinished. Just wait for it. Okay, it's loading. It was like I can't remember who did that joke, but it was like, okay, just you got to see this video. You got to see this video. Okay, it's loading. All right, it's loading. It's loading. I think it was Saturday Night Live did a sketch like that. It was Seth Meyers, and then he's like, "Oh, you got to see this." I was like, "All right, fine, I'll watch it. It's loading. Just wait for it to load. It's loading." That's my entire experience. Just wait a little while. Just wait. I did actually successfully create a character and level a bit and explore some when I was able to log in. There's like peak hours you can do that shit apparently.
Yeah, they've got the Cartman thing going on.
Oh yeah, it's working too. Because like what's fucked up is when I finally do log on without any problems, I'll be really excited. Like I'll be like, holy shit, am I gonna get to play this game? Oh fuck!
Soaring mountains, vast deserts, fierce enemies. And you can't come!
Right. Yeah, you can't explore. You're fucked. Ever wonder what it would be like to explore Tamriel with your friends online? Us too. No idea. Can't figure it out. Sorry. Oh, fuck.
She's friendly to me now. She has kind of like a short-term memory loss. I don't think she's a very good leader to her people.
Well, you sensing a little dishonesty there?
No, I mean, the computer is not very smart.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's kind of funny. I mean, I enjoy a nice, easy... I mean, I'm playing at level 5 difficulty. I think it's called King. And it's still, like a lot of these things, like, the computer gets bonuses to development and shit, but there's so many easy AI exploits that it's not terribly hard.
Oh, okay.
It's just a decent challenge. But yeah, the computer, it's not terribly smart, and they're also pretty chicken shit. Like if they're getting their ass beaten to war, they fold so easily. It's just probably the smart thing to do.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. So how long before you can set sail and head out to?
Well, I've got a trireme that's blocked by their thing. Optics, when it's done, gives me the ability to embark, so that's 8 turns away. It's not too far. It's just enough time for me to get in position along this coast.
I could see this being really addicting.
Oh, it is. It is.
It actually looks like it could be quite a bit of fun, like in the addictive sense. Games like that draw me in really easily. Like, you know, I remember like years ago when I'd not played Minecraft, I just didn't understand, and then like after that, I was fucked.
Yeah.
It just completely drew me in, and I built some ridiculous horse shit. And was just like, oh my god, I gotta go.
Yeah.
I gotta get the fuck out of here. So, yeah, I haven't played that in a while either.
Yeah, me too. I think we all burned out on it. We can go back. We'll do some more Minecraft shit.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it could be fun again once you haven't done it in a while. And that kind of thing.
Well, I mean, it's just that our Corruption of Champions and Trials and Tainted Space has been so successful that it's kind of like taken away resources from everything else.
Right.
Or not resources, but just time. I mean, it's like the easiest. We were talking about this earlier. There's that part in what is it, The Wire, where Stringer's is talking about the stepped-on crack and how it sells better, and he says the worse we do, the more money we make. And that's a little bit like our YouTube content. It's like the easiest content to make is the most successful in terms of views.
Right.
So it's not exactly incentivizing us to do a lot of the stuff that's more work.
Yeah, no shit.
I think I might. This is the other thing: is the computer never is really savvy about like oh, and they have a deficit too. It's some whales.
And that's the other thing people forget is when you're talking about YouTube content providers, there's a goal in mind. It's to like escape responsibility. Right? Like there's a goal to try to do something with like doing as little as possible. So every time there's like an easier video to do and it's promoted, that's what they're gonna do. You know, I mean, that's kind of the whole fucking point to begin with. Is this is leisure and it's fun and it's going to produce something possibly. So you make it easy on people that already are looking for an easy thing to do, then yeah, it's gonna get easier. So yeah.
Probably go kill that barbarian camp just because I need the money. Yeah, I'm gonna go do it.
Now, the barbarian camp in question, are these people like allied with other groups and camps, or
no? They're all just into. I mean, actually, like all the barbarians in the world are technically like one faction, but in practice, they're like all a bunch of independent little guys.
Yeah, okay. So they don't actually do anything to collaborate too often, I guess.
No, I mean they're pretty bare bones AI, I guess. They just go out and like attack your freaking caravans and shit, which is really annoying.
Right.
Sometimes, I mean, yeah, they're always hostile, but they're not very strong. But they are everywhere like horseflies, right? They just keep cropping up.
So how far does this, like, since I have no experience with this game at all, like, does this really progress, like, over time, like, technology-wise and infrastructure and, like, all that stuff?
Yeah,
okay.
Like, right now, I think I'm still in the ancient era, I think, yeah, I don't think we're... You eventually get to the point where you have, like, really high technology.
Oh, that's cool. That's pretty bad.
I'm going to send this one unit down there to take care of the barbarians. Shit. Well, okay, there, and there. Thinking of declaring war on her now, just so I can get this ship around, but it might not even be able to sail up here. We'll know in a minute. 4 turns away, and then I can finally. Oh, and this cargo ship is going to be ready soon, so I'll be able to make a little bit of money. My army is way too large for such an early point in the game. It's kind of bankrupting my whole country.
So what is just like having an army of a particular size just cost you a certain amount of money per
day?
They
all cost maintenance.
Okay.
And I'm not making enough money to offset it.
Right.
And I have no trade routes open because I've been just too busy trying to fight instead of trade. But it's probably not in my best interest to even engage in this fight. But ah, shit. And I'm too far away to open up a trade route with her, so I will have to relocate to Tiwanaku. But this is what the great Dunmer houses do. They fight each other. So, let's see, what else has been going on? Oh yeah, Dawa Films is back.
Oh, yes.
All right. Anyway, yeah, that guy is back, and man, his new project is such a failscape. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's unreal shit. And you're talking about, of course, the his lecture on atheism, right?
Yes, his lecture on he gives like a fucking 8-hour lecture on goddamn atheism, which it turns out he knows fuck all about.
Right. Well,
surprisingly.
Yeah. Oh, I think he knows plenty more about it than he's relaying to those poor idiots at his lecture. Because the thing about him is everything. He's sort of trying to explain away atheism like it's a proposition or some shit. Like that's what he spends a lot of time in the lecture doing. Of course, is what he always did on YouTube.
So you have seen it.
Oh, I've seen 2 parts of it, which holy fuck, it was much more time than I wanted to spend.
Here's the thing: he says that
I've watched about 2 hours.
He says that he's waging. Someone asked him, "It's like, what is he trying to do?" I said, "Well, he's trying to wage jihad, but it's an intellectual jihad, not necessarily a physical jihad. But it works on both levels because about I don't know how many hours in, I had to stop listening to it as background noise while I was working." Because I just had this intense pressure headache. So he can honestly say that he has physically harmed a kuffar with his words.
That's nice. Well, I mean, I had to take a break because I'm not interested in what he's talking about. Right? Like, for me, it's more of, let's see where he goes. Like, I'm interested to a point. I'm interested enough to have watched a bit of it, but not in the same way I'm interested in playing video games. Right?
Yeah.
Like, at some point, I just want to have fun and enjoy myself. And on another level, I'm like, okay, well, let's see what he's doing today. Let's see what this kooky fucker's saying at this point. But my favorite portion of what I've seen so far, which is approaching 2 hours of the lecture, I actually sat through and listened to. My favorite part is his section on scientism, which he used to talk about in his YouTube videos, which I did a video to Dawa Films years ago about his bullshit scientism arguments and how that's just a completely fucking made up word. Now, in the video, he gives the example of the his point is, of course, is that scientism, we should probably talk about what he even means by that. He's saying that people are blindly devoted to scientists and that anytime anyone claims to be a scientist, they will say that something is correct, and everyone will agree because scientists are impossible to corrupt. That's what he actually thinks.
Yeah.
That people think about science. But as I explained in his comment section, now here is his example to prove his point. He used the example of, now I don't know how many people are American football fans that watch our videos. I'm not, so I understand if you're not. But he was talking about the New England Patriots, and they had this whole debacle with the quarterback with being accused of. Did you see this part of his video?
Yeah, this is his argument of what's wrong with science. He's fucking insane.
Now, and it's not. He never even said really science, right? This is how he's clever about it. He doesn't say there's anything wrong with science, even though that's what he would like people to think. He just says there's something wrong with the way it's perceived. Right, by skeptics, so-called skeptics. They believe anything a scientist says, but they're supposedly skeptical. That's his point. So his example is that, well, one scientist comes out and says, well, the balls are at this particular land, so there's no way that they didn't do this on purpose. And the other scientist comes out and says, well, no, hold on a second, it's where they were stored and for how long and to what temperature, and therefore the air pressure was at this level, and that's perfectly reasonable. And he goes, there's no way. Both of them can be right. So that means then they're both scientists, so therefore scientism. Now what's interesting about his little fucking example is what I pointed out in his comment section, which I'll never hear back ever about, is the following. Said the interesting thing about your example is one of those scientists was right. The other one wasn't.
Yeah.
So your argument is that scientists are corruptible. The trouble you're going to run into is that the scientific method is not.
Yeah.
And that is the thing that people put their trust in. The reason they put their trust in it is because it fucking works. It has nothing to do with who is corruptible and who could dub themselves a scientist. And yes, people can be bribed. Whoop-de fucking do. What? religious people can't be bribed?
Yeah.
Religious people don't lie? Is that where you're going with this? Scientism is a blind trust of science and scientists. No, it's a trust of the scientific. It's not. First of all, it's a made-up word. Let me make sure I get that.
Well, here's the thing. He would say no, it's not made up because someone called Karl Popper used it, but he's not using it in the same context that Karl Popper used it. So.
Oh, okay. All right. So the word has some past credibility.
No,
certainly.
It's someone else coined the same word, but he's not using the word in the context that it was originally coined.
Oh, okay. Well, what I'm saying when I say that,
I mean, this is the guy. I think at some point he said, "Well, there was a German philosopher, Nietzsche." And I'm like, you don't even know how to pronounce the names of the fucking philosophers you're name dropping.
Right.
You idiot.
I'm not even sure he said Nietzsche. I think it was more butchered than that.
Yeah, I think so.
But I
do remember hearing him butcher the name and thinking, you fucking idiot.
I just kind of cringed and went on. Like, I was like,
if your whole argument is name dropping, learn to pronounce the fucking names.
Right, yeah. I mean, you can pronounce everything that's important to you, for fuck's sake. You can't pronounce that. That's fantastic. But yeah, the whole, I mean, just the outright deception. Like, you would think there'd be someone smart enough in that room to go, exactly. But you would think somebody would go, wait a second, though. Like, yeah, science, like, they couldn't draw the conclusion I just did. I pulled that right out of my ass while I was watching his video. Just, yeah, we get that people are kind of shitty and shady sometimes. It doesn't say anything at all about the past success of the scientific method as it is now. It doesn't say anything about that. It doesn't speak to that at all, and why a lot of skeptics would go to such a method to fucking prove their arguments, to be true or false. Because it works, and people that are interested in truth go to barometers that in the past have produced the most truth. That just makes sense, but no. It's this worship of science, and that has what to do with me not believing your stupid fucking story anyway.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, specifically, what are you telling me that I should believe you? And why should I believe you? Notice he won't fucking teach a class on why it's so goddamn accurate, the Quran, or why Islam. Let's not do that. Instead, we'll do a lecture on scientism and how atheism... He's going to fucking teach a bunch of people how to understand atheism by telling them it's something completely different than it is. It's fucking sad. And the real fucking victims are the people that are going to approach an atheist one day with this horse shit.
Yeah, exactly. And just get fucking destroyed.
Right. Poor guys. And they probably paid to be there. You sad fucking sacks of shit. I mean, well, hey, look, it all works out in the end. They have to sit... They spend their money. They sit through a lecture... given by Dawa fucking Films, and I give my money to Tamriel Unlimited, and I'm completely limited. So we all have our fucking moments, I guess, when we throw our money away. But I really do feel sorry for everyone in that class who's there to legitimately learn. Yeah. Like, there's probably a couple guys in there that really do want to understand their opposition, like, legitimately.
Yeah.
But he's been beat up so much by the opposition, and now he's fucking, like, vexed and fucking angry. So it's just a revenge mission for him, right?
Yeah.
And these people are like, I have a legitimate interest in learning my opposition. Well, you came to the wrong place,
fucking place.
Because I'm just going to teach you a bunch of shit I've made up. Which you should be used to by now. As you can see by looking at this poster behind me, the Quran is the only truth in the world.
Yeah.
So, everybody stay tuned for this.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, okay, dude. For fuck's sake. There's a story called The Mirage. Do you know it?
I do not.
Okay. Muhammad, founder of the Islamic faith, of course, he allegedly... I shouldn't have to say that, but...
Not to me.
Got on the back of a creature called a burak. Now, a burak, the word burak comes from the same Semitic root as lightning, words for lightning and thunder, right?
Okay.
And this is a chimerical creature that is... It's got the body of a donkey, the wings of some great bird, some beautiful face that isn't described in detail, but is said to be as beautiful as the face of a woman and the tail of a peacock. Okay? He got on the back of this creature. He flew up to the lowest of the 7th heavens. Okay? And then flew back down to Jerusalem and then back to Mecca all in a single night.
That's pretty cool. I like this story. Tell me more.
And now, here's the thing. You and I will sit here and we'll wonder, how the fuck can people believe that? And yet Dawa Films will stand in a room of people and it's like, I bet you're all here asking you the same question. Why don't atheists believe that? As this chart shows... I mean, and they are sitting there scratching their heads, wondering, why don't they believe it? It's so obvious. Are they stupid?
Right.
It's so obvious.
Well, you know, and it goes back to, like, okay, I was talking about my experience in Catholic school. When I was in the 9th grade, I'd already decided, I referred to myself as agnostic back then. Yeah. Was the label, which I still do, which I refer to every person alive when it comes to matters of the supernatural as agnostic. This is the only accurate label, and it doesn't mean anything anyway. Yeah. But to me, at that point in my life, when I didn't know how else to say that I rejected your proposition in a more articulate way, was I'm agnostic. So, somebody asked me, well, what does that mean? And I explained it. Look, it just means that I can't really verify. We're on a bus. We're 9th graders. So I can't really verify that what I've been told about God or whatever is accurate. There's no way for me to verify it. There's no way for you to verify it. So why should I just accept that that is truth? It doesn't make sense to me. Right? And then you give them an example from science, which is about truth. Essentially, it's, look, we can prove the whole thing with the gravity, and we can prove the whole thing with fire, and we know how all of this works, right? Right? But you can't prove to me in any tangible way that your proposition about this God exists. And after that entire, I remember this guy's name was Mike something. We were on the bus, and after all that I said to him, he goes, this is exactly what he said to me. He looked at me with this disappointed, disgusted look on his face, and he goes, how could you not believe in God? That's all he had to say to me. And at that moment, I was like, oh, cool. And I had a Dr. House moment. Like, you know that moment where, like, on Dr. House, like, he'll fucking make a loud bang, and somebody will go into a seizure, and he'll lean over and go, cool. Right? like that's kind of exactly what I was like, that's neat. Like, I sat here and I explained to him my position just articulately as I could have ever been able to. And he just repeated the question again. He's like an idiot. He's like a real live idiot. Look, I just wanted to, like, poke him to see if he was real, right? It was just like, wow. But that, at that point, fucking 14, 15, I knew the level of shit that religion clogged your brain with. And like it's not even about right or wrong or whether or not the proposition makes sense. It's just about what you accept. And it's at a certain point you just accepted that. And it became unquestionable truth. And they believe in God or whatever as strongly as we believe what we know is like what we've come to know, right?